All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. What is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV. Back again, once again. You should already know, ladies and gentlemen, this one is poised to be an instant classic in the making. If this is by far your first time to the Dr. Mike TV experience, by all means, make sure you subscribe and notify. Do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the Good Doc's content. All my good stuff shall be listed in the links in the description area below. All right, official time check, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking at about 8:50 p.m. Eastern, which makes it about 7:50 Central, which makes it about 5:50 for everybody repping that West Coast, and of course, 8:50 in the AM Philippine Standard Time. Wherever you guys are important in the world today, maraming salamat sa lahat, and thank you guys for joining the Good Doc on what is poised to be an interesting topic of conversation. Lately, I've been making a lot of videos in representation of the travel community, brothers who travel, things like that. And as of late, I've been coming across quite a few interesting topics of conversation, videos, and things that I love to share with you guys. But I came across an article that we're going to get into in a minute, uno momento. But today's live stream, guys, as you can tell, what does it ask you? Even with your passport, is there a place you would avoid traveling to? Even with the availability of your passport, is there anywhere on planet Earth, mind you, that you would avoid traveling? Now, I came across an interesting article that I want to share with you guys. I think that I'm interested in the feedback from this particular article, so that's why I want to share it with you. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up real quick. Let me go ahead and share my screen real fast so that you guys get an idea of the article in which I am trying to bring up for y'all. Give me a minute because my thing acting slow again. Give me a second. Here we go. We're gonna share it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully it's coming through. Let me make sure we're all in a good place and space. Make sure I can get that thing. How can I say this? I'm gonna make sure that I can get it zoomed in a way that everybody can read the title of the article as well as what we're going to be talking about today. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this particular article basically talks about the 5 worst countries for Black solo travelers, right? They believe that these particular countries listed in this article are the 5 worst places for anybody who resembles my complexion to actually travel. Once we get through the article and we talk about it a little bit, I want to hear what particular places and spaces, even with your passport, even with the opportunity to travel to it, if that was the only thing coming between you just going to the place and no other obstacle or stipulation or whatever, what places are you guys choosing to avoid? All right. So 5 worst countries for Black solo travelers. Let's go ahead and get into it. At the top of the list is Italy. And they're talking more specifically about northern Italy, which we'll get into in a minute. It says it has been much loved the travel destination for years, but some research has shown that it might not be such an ideal place to travel alone if you are a Black traveler. That is especially in the northern Italy area. Much of the negative feedback they have gotten has been coming from the concentrated area of North Italy. It is no secret that racism exists in Italy, but some regions are far worse than others. From our research, it appears that most Black travelers have pretty good experiences in southern Italy, but had some negative things to say about northern Italy. And if you are a Black traveler from Africa opposed to, let's say, a Black American, your travel experiences might be a lot worse. There is a lot of illegal immigration from Africa to Italy that has faced fierce opposition, and that could, be the source of much of the mistreatment Black travelers in Italy get. All right, and it goes on to talk a little bit more. So Italy, more specifically northern Italy, they labeled as a place that Black solo travelers shouldn't go. My dad was stationed in Italy a while back. This was damn near before I was born. I can't remember exactly where. I think my brother might have been conceived. I don't know, or my mom was pregnant at the time with my older brother when he was there. But Everything my father tells me about Italy has been good. I don't know if he was stationed in the southern region. I will have to ask him. But when I think about it, normally you I don't really hear too much of a racial issue with Italy, right? Especially with the number of soldiers that were stationed there in the past. Maybe you guys hear different. Maybe my older brethren who have been there and visit there. That's why I'm bringing up this article, because I think it's noteworthy to at least hear what you guys got to say about it. But in Italy, I haven't heard too much of a racial issue, and that's probably because maybe most of the deployment of sorts may have been in the southern region of the country, right? But everything I asked my dad about Italy during his time there when he was stationed there, it's always been positive, right? It's never been anything negative, right? Also, what can I say? That's it. That's what I want to focus on so far. I think that's it. My dad was stationed there, never really a negative talking point about it. He even was damn near close to being considered fluent in Italian at one time. And he was trying to seek the additional pay that the army gives you to being bilingual, I guess. He just didn't. He missed it by a couple points, and he didn't take the test again. So Italy was number one. And I guess this is not in any particular order. This is just how they labeled it. China, numero dos. China in general is a place where you have to know what you're getting yourself into, and that's why it's a popular destination for group tours. The biggest complaint for Black travelers about China is the amount of uncomfortable attention Black people get doing simple everyday things like walking down the street or dining at restaurants. If personal space is an important thing for you, then this is probably not a place you will want to go. Some Black travelers have compared it to feeling like an attraction at the zoo. And I've seen YouTube videos about people who have covered this particular topic of conversation. Wodemaya, popular YouTuber from Africa that spent a lot of time in China. I'm not sure if he's there now. And then there was also one young lady I came across, and they just have a thing for wanting to play with her hair and stuff like that, or look at her, and she kind of felt like she was more of an attraction at the zoo. So I have heard that particular talking point in the past. Locals might come up to you and want to take photos with you or touch your hair. Like I said, most of the attention might not come from a bad place or out of bad intentions, but it is easy to see why it can get irritating when you're simply looking to relax and explore a new place. All right. So they go on to talk a little bit more about China, and then they mentioned the whole CV situation, how it started there, how it probably didn't go down well for people with our melanin and shit. But yeah. The next place, 3 and 4, Morocco and Egypt. I'm damn sure interested in this one. My auntie went to Egypt and she loved that shit. For the number 3 and number 4 spots, we are putting Morocco and Egypt together because the two North African countries have so much in common. And most of the complaints about these two countries came from Black women traveling alone. Okay, I guess this one doesn't necessarily apply to us, gentlemen. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip it. But I don't get it, man. My auntie loved that shit when she was there. I mean, just a little bit of information about my auntie, who I love dearly. Her ex-husband was Egyptian, and she went over there to visit the family over there. That's why she was there. So maybe it was because of the family thing. She kind of felt it was dope. So I guess that's why I can't really have anything, or I haven't heard anything negative. But again, guys, if you've been to these places, man, please let me know. I would love to hear what your experiences were like in these places if you have been. All right. And the last place is India. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? I wanted to go to India, and people are over here talking about, Doc, that ain't where you want to go. Anyways, India is another giant place that can easily overwhelm even those traveling in groups. But if you are a solo traveler and visiting for the first time, get ready to have your senses overpowered from the level of noise to the pollution. Oh, that sounds like Manila, Philippines, man. That's light work to me. Pollution in the pollution in a foreign country, bro. Manila got that shit on lock, man. I've been to Manila. I know what to expect, so I'm not really gonna believe that that's gonna be a culture shock for myself. The level of noise, probably not either, man. Manila can get pretty noisy as well. You will likely receive a combination of all the negative things we talked about on the list when visiting India solo, from staring and pointing to sexual harassment. I think the sexual harassment likely comes if you are a female. And I don't care if you're Black, white, or indifferent. I think any female would probably get harassed in India. I've heard some things, y'all. I've heard some things. I ain't gonna cap. I've heard some very, 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 very fucked up things that have happened to some young ladies who have traveled to India. Not saying that it should deter you, but I've heard you really got to be careful out there. But apparently from this young lady who's a traveler, she says, the attention I received was not always extreme, but sometimes the energy changed when I was with other travelers. There was a clear difference in the type of attention that I received when walking with fellow white or Asian travelers versus walking alone or with another black person. Okay. So y'all don't like black people, allegedly, apparently. Anywho, when the former people, I'm sorry, when with the former, people still noticed me, but their reactions were more indifferent than negative, as if other travelers validated my being there. When alone or with another black person, however, a large majority of the reaction toward us were decidedly negative, expressed through the frowning faces, laughter, pointing, staring, making jokes, or hurrying away from us. Several travelers have shared their experience of getting their hair pulled and even being asked crazy questions while in India. A lot of Africans from Mumbai are considered drug dealers, and you might have trouble getting into certain places like clubs because you're black. That sucks. People might walk up to you and take your picture and claim it's for their social media. When traveling in India, be very cautious and don't travel solo, especially if it's your first time. Remember that bad experiences are as much part of traveling as good experiences are. Bad people, racism, sexism, and every other ism can be found in any country, of course, and that should not stop you from going to any of these locations. This article is to share experiences, blah, 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 whoop-de-doo. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody ever said traveling was easy. Nobody ever told you that it was going to be light work to go into different countries and try to explore and get to see other places and have the time of your lives, guys. Nobody ever told you it was going to be easy. Nobody ever told you it was going to be that light work where you can just get around and have the time of your life, especially if you're opting to travel solo. But it's like, even though it's not said to be easy, and even though as a traveler you should know, man, you got to do your own due diligence and understand it doesn't hurt you to do a little research on the background, right? It ain't never hurt you. Talk a little bit, talk to people who have been there, and it damn sure doesn't hurt to have a conversation. It does not hurt you to talk to people who have been there, talk to people who are there. Chances are, if any of you guys are probably planning a trip as we speak, either you're doing a Google search on tips and tricks on how to, have a decent vacation or how to get around in certain places. The place that you're looking to travel to, that's probably what you're doing. Or you're Googling and trying to find a YouTuber who's lived there, who has like a ton of content that's covering the types of questions you may ask. And trust me, with the plethora of content that people put on YouTube, chances are you're going to find something. Right? And nothing works better than when you have 2 or 3 or 4 channels to fucking get a consensus or a consistent understanding of certain types of experiences. So if you start to hear the exact same thing from 3 to 4 people, chances are that information starts to overlap. It's like, okay, I can start to see that, okay, this may not be such a bad thing, right? This may not be such a bad look for myself to check this out over here. Maybe I know now I shouldn't do this. I know now that I shouldn't do that. Like in certain countries, this is the weirdest thing. I really only found out about this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, y'all. It's the craziest thing. I only found out about this, it was maybe 3 years ago or less, right? That in certain countries, it's really bad to shake hands with your left hand. I'm a left-handed guy. Every time I shake hands, I always reach out with my right? I shake hands with my right hand. That's just always been a natural thing. But only recently, and like I said, the last couple of years, did I realize in certain countries and cultures, reaching out with your left hand and shaking hands with your left hand is the bad hand, because the bad hand is the dirty hand, right? Apparently, in some countries, your left hand is the one that people choose to wipe their butt with, right? So they're not trying to touch that hand. And I was like, well, damn, okay. Like I said, the more you know. And that came from reading, and that came from, just general conversations with people. Because I started to ask, yo, why is this a thing? Why is that a problem? Even though myself, like I said, if I shake hands in any capacity, normally I don't really shake hands. I'll give you a pound or something like that because I don't know if you're dirty or not. But for the most part, if I'm going to shake hands or even give a pound, it's always going to be with the right hand, never the left. Right? But like I said, in certain cultures, you just realize it. You'll get it when you get there, or you'll start to understand it, when you make that mistake and you never make that fucking mistake again. Right? So even in the Philippines, right, there are some quirky shit that you would probably never imagined is an issue, right? And I've talked about this in a video before. I'm sure my fellow YouTubers that, service the same community I do have talked about it as well. But when you sipping coffee or when you sipping tea or you drinking and you put your little pinky in the air thinking you all sophisticated and shit, they looking at you like you flexible in the Philippines, bro. If a man puts his pinky in the air, they looking at you like you flexible. And if you know, you know. I shouldn't have to go into details about it, but they kind of look at it like like that. And even though I'm embarrassed to say this, y'all, I shouldn't be embarrassed to say this, but I'm a man and I've grown up. I have to accept this for what it is, because it is who it is, and this is the person I am, and it is. So I say, fuck it. When I first got to the Philippines, y'all, I used to wear earrings in both ears, and they used to confuse me as female, bro. Big, real. I don't know, man. Maybe I just have like very soft skin and shit, and I don't know, man. Maybe I was looking sensitive that day. I don't know. I don't fucking know, but because I kept getting the mistaken as a female, and this is before you even talked to me or whatever, I just took them out, man. I said, fuck it, I can't wear earrings anymore as a guy because they mistake you for female. And I was like, yeah, it bothered me for a minute, but I got over it. As I grew up, I mean, grown-ass man wearing earrings, it just wasn't a good look for me anyways, especially, trying to be in a professional career field. But that's neither here nor there. But in certain countries, like I said, guys, you just got to know the pros and the cons, the tips, the tricks, the do's and the don'ts. That just comes with traveling in nature. And when they talked about the whole Chinese experience with black travelers and in China and shit like that, we all know that they stare at us like we're fucking spectacles and shit. You get stared at damn near every country you go when you're black, because usually, unless you're traveling from those African countries, chances are you are of the minority, being a black American traveling into a lot of these countries, right? You just are. Why? Because let's keep it a buck, man. Black people don't travel that much. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm trying to improve it, right? I'm trying to make a way so that we can all get to the bag and we can all get to enjoy the experience. But for me, the way that I look at it now, I'm not mad if you choose not to do it, right? I'm not mad if you choose not to travel, but I never want your reason to not travel or the reason for you not traveling to be the simple fact that you're either scared or you're just trying to avoid these places because of what everybody else has told you. That's the only energy I don't really like about people who travel. If your whole point is you want to go to places but you don't know what to do, trust me, there are probably quite a few brothers in some small groups, clusters, I should say, that are traveling to the places you're looking to go. There's at least one, two, or a few where you can say, yo, man, I'm looking to get over here. Tell me what I need to know, or, what do I need to, concern myself with the most? And once you do that, I kind of feel like everything else pretty much falls into place, man. I didn't travel to the Philippines by myself. I'll be honest. My dad and my brother were there way before me. So when I came into the country, I kind of had somebody looking out for my best interest and shit and, trying to school me on the do's and the don'ts and stuff like that. So I was lucky. You guys have YouTube now. Again, when I traveled to the Philippines, I didn't have access to information about the Philippines. I did not. We're talking about 2005, 2006 were my first trips to the country before I stayed long term. Everything else I just picked up as I went along. But you're just not going to have all the information right in front of you. You can take all the notes you want to, but sometimes you got to live that. You gotta immerse yourself in it before you sit there and start to think, yo, man, I don't want to go here. I don't want to go there. If you haven't lived the experience to be able to say, you know what, maybe this is not for me, you're not doing yourself any favors. That's a fact. All right. So I want to get to the chat real quick, man. Shout out and show love to my people. Sincerely, how you doing? Appreciate you coming through. She says there are places or else you can't get a visa. So are you saying that the places you choose not to travel are the places you can't get a visa in? Like I said, certain stipulations or reasons why you can't get into those countries. Respect. I mean, fuck. If there's a reason you can't get into it, then it is what it is, all right? So shout out to Chosen One. What's going on with you, bro? No, them brownouts in the Philippines, man, nothing to play with. They're not fun. Trust me. I lived that life for a long time. I didn't like them either, but I just dealt with them. I tried to be out and about when they went out. So if I'm at the mall, getting that free AC, we was good. But it's good to hear the power back up, and it's good to see you in the building. I see we got 10 of y'all. If you haven't already dropped your like, Doc would highly appreciate that one, man. Y'all should already know the rules, man. Make sure y'all caress, molest, and stretch yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs, it most definitely has to have it. Again, if you guys want to support in any capacity, please feel free to do so. But like I said, man, happy and blessed y'all choose to come through, spend a little bit of time with the boy today. Now, then, let's get back to business. Shout out to my man, Robert. What's up, bro? He says India is a no-go for him. Hey, man, India ain't for everybody. All right, I would still, me being stubborn as hell, I think I'd still want to go just to clarify some things, right? You hear it, but I'm the type of guy that if I can and if I feel safe enough to do it, I need clarification, y'all. I'm going to go just to make sure that what you telling me is true, right? I'm going to make sure that what you said to me is accurate. So that way I can be like, well, lesson learned, right? And that's only on places that I really, 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 really want to go. That's not a lot of places, but it's definitely enough. If I knew how to say your name, I would, because I do not feel like messing it up. But I appreciate you locking in. He says, I lived in Egypt for a while. I made decent connections. However, I would still not recommend going to the Middle East. They have a history of trading black people as commodity. God damn. I do not disagree with that. I've heard some things. Like I said, I've heard things too. I'm gonna leave it at that. He said, I'm going back to Kenya this winter. Can't wait to go there again. Better to be amongst people who look like you. Yes. Travel to Africa is as crazy as it sounds, y'all. And I say this in some videos every now and again. As crazy as it sounds, there's not too many brothers out here who are advocating travel to Africa like that, right? Shout out to my big bro O'Shea, living in Kenya and Uganda and creating a whole channel around that experience. You have some, but you don't have many. I should say that there are far more brothers advocating for travel to South America and travel to Southeast Asia, right? Far more than you have brothers trying to advocate for travel to Africa. And like I said, I'm the type of guy, it's always been on my list and it always will be on my list. It's just a matter of time when I get there. But unfortunately, that time just isn't right now. But going around people, being around people who look like you, that's dope. Unfortunately, when they hear you speak and they realize you ain't got no accent and no tone, I kind of feel like the energy gonna be real different. And you kind of get that. I've had people who have said that, you get around them and of course you may look like them, but when they hear you speak and you got that good old American accent, you know what I'm saying? I kind of feel like they still might treat you different. Maybe I'm wrong. I pray that I am, but sometimes it's just not, sometimes it's just the way that it is. All right. He said left hand is for cleaning your private parts. Absolutely. That's why, never shake hands with your left hand or reach your hand out to people to shake with your left hand, especially in cultures, more so in the Middle East, right? He said, Sean, what's up, bro? Yeah, most Middle East countries, man, do not shake hands or offer your left hand to shake. Like I said, just things that you learn. Either you learn it by doing your research or your ass learn it the hard way. And people look at you like you done lost your damn mind because you may not know, but they know that left hand, the dirty hand. Everybody know that. But yeah, man, if you put that pinky up in the Philippines, man, they think you moving very moist. Yes, sir. That is the easiest way to put it. You real flexible. They really feel that way, and it's crazy. You also mentioned that you've been to Italy before and got stopped twice while walking in the city center. They are profiling me because they're looking for illegal immigrants. Damn, that's tough. I don't. Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see that. It makes it extremely difficult. Okay, let me make sure I say this the right way, because Doc's always known for saying shit, and it may come out the wrong way. But in reality, if you have people who are going to that country who look like us, i.e., our fellow African brethren, who are traveling to these countries and they're doing illegal shit or traveling illegally and stuff like that, just to get away from whatever it is they're trying to get away from, trying to, probably make an honest living for themselves, yeah, they're probably gonna stop you a lot because you look like the people they're looking for. Is it right? Nah, but is it the reality? You bet your ass. That's literally one of the cons of traveling. If anybody basically tells you that traveling is just going to be peaches and cream and it's going to be all Gucci the entire time, they're lying to you, right? There are subtleties that you got to get used to. It's not all bad. And I promise you, there are far more good than there is bad with traveling. But this is not necessarily the price you pay for traveling, but this is something that you might, not saying that you will, but something that you might have to contend with. Does it suck? Hell yeah. Do you feel like you shouldn't have to go through it? Hell yeah. But should you just go ahead and bite the bullet and do what the fuck you got to do so that you can keep it pushing? You bet your ass. I don't see the purpose of making a scene about it. And that's one thing that I hope a lot of people aren't doing, because you got some that'll make a whole scene about the travel and then go crazy and then be like, oh, why you stopping me this? You profiling me this? They ain't trying to hear that shit. Don't get aggressive. Don't get loud. Don't get violent. You should be fine. Don't express your first world Karen ways and you should be good majority of the time. But like I said, man, some people may consider that a coward's move. But I consider it, hey, man, I'm just trying to survive and keep it pushing. So if I got to just bite the bullet and take a couple of bumps, or should I say just deal with people trying to do some of this extra shit to make them feel comfortable about themselves, sometimes it's really the con that you have to deal with traveling. It is what it is. Like I said, far more good than there are bad. Guaranteed for the majority of us. It's always been more good than there has been bad. All right. He says, just travel to where other people travel, like Europe and South America and parts of Asia, like Thailand and the Philippines. People do too much. You do have those. Yeah, that's funny. You got those the adventure travelers. The motherfuckers who are trying to go to like North Korea and shit. What? Yo, y'all remember old buddy who went on that trip to North Korea? I forgot his name. The white boy with the glasses, and he tried to steal that little painting or something. And then they had him locked up, and then they released him. And then when he got back to the United States a couple days later, or within the time that he arrived, he had passed away or something like that. Yeah, that shit bugs me out. Like, I'm not trying to go to no place where I feel like I got to fear for my life, right? Shout out to Dennis Rodman, who is definitely buddy with the old buddy. Is it Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il? I forgot which one it is. I'm sorry. Is it Il or Un? Nah, she ain't paying attention. My wife over there. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's cool, man. I mean, like I said, if you can make those connections and you feel comfortable making those trips, that's different. But if you're just a solo traveler, just somebody trying to get their rocks off, try to travel to the most extreme places so that you can film it to try to, make yourself feel like you're one of one, or like you're the best of the best to do it, or whatever the fuck, and your ass get caught up in some nonsense, guess what? I can't feel sorry for you. Those are the risks that you take, and I'm not willing to take those risks. And yeah, you should travel to the place where the majority of the people do travel. Is India a bit risky? Depending on who you ask, right? If some places in the Middle East risky, you bet your bottom dollar it is. But ultimately, like I said, man, they make good money in the Middle East, so that's always going to be the catch-22 for me, man. You get some good bread out there in the Middle East, man. Take it from somebody who knows, right? And anybody who's done government contract work or lived there for a period of time just to do anything, you'll know for sure. All right. Shout out to my man Eyes On. What's up with you, bro? The US dollar rate is now $52.80 to $1. Damn, man, we done dropped 3 pesos. It used to be 55. Unfortunate, but yeah, as long as it's above 50, I'll deal with it. I'll take those numbers. He said, Dr. Mike, don't go to India. Don't be a weirdo. I get it. I know. I might, but I may not make it a whole vlogging experience. It might just be something I have to do on my own without sharing it with you guys. I may or may not. It depends, man. There's still years to come, man. It just depends. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but we shall see. There are far more other places higher priority on my list than India is, but we'll just have to see. My man says he wants to bathe in the river with the cows. He said, bro, you always doing the most. Yeah, I'm a bit extreme, right? You got to go where no other vlogger has gone before, right? You know how it goes. When you're on an adventure, man, you got to do the most just to show up and show out. Just for me to get like 200 views on that video. I'm over here risking my damn life for like 100 video views and shit. He's like, yeah, that comes with the sacrifice of being one of them low tier YouTubers and shit. You be doing the most and you don't get nothing for it. Yeah, I know. It is what it is. Unfortunately, the world is always going to judge us as a group rather than by the individual. This is the harsh reality for us. Hopefully, one day our descendants can enjoy the fruits of their labor. I'm with you on that one. It's unfortunate, true. It's one of those necessary things. I guess I have complete understanding for everybody who chooses to go out and fight against it. Like, yo, this is bullshit. Y'all shouldn't treat us like this. Y'all treating us bad. But I'm really that type of dude when I'm abroad. I'm willing to bite the bullet. I'm willing to just chill. I'm willing to just let them do what they have to do in order to make sure that I make it out of there alive, or at least I make it out of there relatively unscathed. I am very cooperable. You can say that's a coward's move, bitch move, whatever you want to, but man, I'm thinking about my life and whoever's with me. I'm making sure that everybody's good. And like I said, I've never really been in those particular life or death experiences or places where I felt like my life was at risk. I've never been in a situation where I felt my life was at risk. So, like I said, when it comes to traveling to different countries, you have to go there and make sure that you have it in your mind. If this is the place that you really want to go, when you have to be able to understand exactly what could or could not happen. So, you know what it is. Robert, he's the only Dennis Rodman can go to North Korea. Yeah, he's literally the only person alive that has the pass. I don't want to call it the ghetto pass or the Negro pass because I don't even think the white people out there who are willing to take that. He's literally the only one who has the pass to North Korea. And I bet you he be enjoying life, man. I swear on everything I love, man. He's got to be enjoying life when he goes over there. I should make a video about Dennis Rodman and his trips to North Korea. Boy, I bet you he be living it up. When he has no fear of being killed, let's just be honest, when there's no fear of dying for anything that you do because you are that in with the person who runs the country, basically the person who's in charge of making sure making sure, and I hate to say it this way because it seems very messed up, but hey, y'all know North Korea. But when you're cool with the person that's in charge and stuff, and you can basically do whatever you want to, probably have your pick of any young lady that you want to, this man is one of one. It's the craziest thing. I like it. I love it. And I'm happy for him because he's found his place. And I'm pretty sure, his trips are probably fully funded and paid for. He probably doesn't have to do that. And as many of you know, and as many of you may not know, Dennis Rodman's father, God rest his soul. Shout out to my boy, Jay Black American Expat. He did interviews with Dennis Rodman's father, but he used to live in Angeles City in the Philippines. As of to date, I believe the number of children that he has or has had, and I may be wrong, was like 27 plus. That man had like 20 plus kids out there in AC. Y'all could do the research if you want to. I believe it was like damn near in the 27, almost 30 kids in the Philippines. And he lives in AC, or did at one time. I do believe that he has passed away recently within the last couple of years, I believe. But yeah, Dennis Rodman's daddy used to live in the Philippines. I think it was Philander Rodman. If I messed his name up, I apologize. But y'all know what it is, right? But yeah, that's where we at. Shout out to my man Steve. Steve is my brother right here. A lot of y'all don't know Steve. Steve don't like me when I do this and put him on the spot. But Steve has always been probably one of the biggest supporters of my channel since I first started. We're talking about probably less than 100 subscribers and shit. And ever since I started my channel, he's always been one of my biggest supporters and shit behind the scenes, always giving great advice and looking out for me and shit. So every time my man Steve comes in, I always make sure I show him love, man. He's always looking out for me behind the scenes and stuff. This man treats me real good, and it's very rare that you meet people on YouTube who are like above board and like want to like cool as motherfuckers and just like that. So yes, when I see my man Steve in the building, I make sure I show him love. Shout out to his wife. Appreciate y'all for locking in, man. And I'm glad that you still continue to rock with the good doc, man. Appreciate you. He says, man, you got to go where you're appreciated. 100. Alabama, Tennessee, certain parts of Georgia need passports. I'll never, and you ain't ever going to find me going to those spots at certain parts of Arizona. Like I said, when I'm in the United States, bro, I stay my ass in North Carolina, in my little small town in North Carolina. I don't really be traveling around the United States like that. Maybe I will to show the wife some places and shit, but it's going to be places that I know, man. We ain't going to them back states, right? There are even places in North Carolina I would never travel, nor would I go through, right? And it's not so much, and I've traveled these roads quite often, to keep it a buck with y'all. I've traveled through places where you see the Confederate flag flying high. And for some reason, that doesn't bother me as much. I kind of feel like that may be a place I shouldn't go, but it's not as if I feel as though, oh my God, I'm driving through this and my whole life is in danger, right? But, you go through places in Carolina, and I'm pretty sure in Alabama, Tennessee, and places like that, probably in Mississippi, other parts of Georgia, I feel you. I didn't lose anything in those states, nor did I lose anything in those particular counties and or countries. So why the fuck I need to go there? That's all I'm saying. Why would I need to go there? What's going on with you, AB? Appreciate you locking in. He says, have you ever flew a Space A anywhere in the U.S. or overseas? If so, share your experience. My brother, please help me out, because I think I might be lacking on what you asking. I'm sorry. That might be a brain fart, but please detail what is Space A for me, brother. The answer is probably no if I don't know. It probably is no. But I'd rather you clarify for me, help me out with a little bit of details, and I'll let you know. Probably the answer is no, though. I would never go to Afghanistan. If they paid me enough and we were going through a war and them government contracts was hitting, shout out to my brother AB, you know what I'm talking about. If them government contracts was hitting, yeah, I think I would. Right now, I want you to understand. Oh, I'm not military, bro. I've never flown no Space A military stuff. Yeah, nah, none of that. Nah, sorry, none of that. I've taken military hops. Does that count? I've taken like those trips where I've hitched a ride on military aircrafts. I think my dad took me from Japan to Korea when me and my brother was young, but that's about the only thing that I can think of that even remotely clarifies. But nah, none of that. But yeah, the military hops. Yo, bro. Yeah, fuck yeah. Okay, that's what you talk about? Oh yeah. From Japan to Korea. First time I ever did that. Man, we were up early as hell, bro. And yeah, man, I think 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, just chilling. We sat, and I remember this distinctly. I have a picture, me and my little fat ass. I was sitting on the cargo nets, the little red joints. It ain't even like a real chair. It was like the little cargo nets and shit. Yeah, me and my brother was sitting on them things. I was wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers jacket with the little pocket in the middle. Man, I remember it like it was yesterday. If I could find that picture, I'll share it with you. But yeah, man, I slept the whole time. It wasn't really a long trip from Japan to Korea. So yeah, it wasn't long at all, my bruh. So it was really quick. So yeah, I can't really explain the experience, but yeah, it was pretty dope, man. And at the time, being as young as I was when I did it, I wasn't really aware of what it was. But my dad explained to me, yeah, man, we're just catching this military flight. It's not no normal flight. And fuck, I slept. That's it, man. We was up early, man. I slept the entire time. But yeah, it was one of those big cargo Army airplanes and shit. It's pretty dope. I feel you. Yeah, shout out to Dennis Rodman dad, man. OG, triple OG, OG, triple. Fucks with him. My man said I'm from Tennessee. I resent that statement. Hey, man, I'm from Carolina, but people still think because Carolina's a red state, you shouldn't go there either. So I'm pretty sure people pop off and talk shit about my state too. It's all good. He said, also, have you and the mean one tied the knot yet? Yeah, man. Me and the wife been married since May 21st. Yeah, man. So going on 3 months? Something like that. Something like that. 3 months. May 21st. Y'all count it. July. What is it? May, June, July. August 21st will be 3 months. So yeah, man, about 2 months and some change. But yeah, for sure. He says, I've been out of commission but you good, bro. I appreciate you. He says, have you decided to stay in North Carolina or move abroad eventually? We're going to move eventually, but North Carolina is where it's going to be for the meantime, in between time, for sure. My man said South Carolina too. North Carolina is better, but you're right about, you said you're right about that, good doc. Certain parts we know are sundown towns or spots where I ain't even trying to play with. Oh yeah, I don't even play with that. I don't. No sir. Y'all can have that, right? I'm not going to sit there and risk my life or offend somebody with my complexion because that feels like what it is. I'm not going to be offensive with my complexion in certain parts of North Carolina because I don't need that energy. And I'm as crazy as I sound when I say the shit that I do. I'm a very logical person and I think things through and weigh in the pros and cons. I don't see the value in sundown cities for myself, or sundown towns, or sundown states, or sundown sundown cities. Y'all know what I mean. I'm not gonna hurt myself. I'm good, right? If I didn't lose anything in those towns, no, thank you. I'm good. I'm good with that. I am Gucci with that. Oh, so space available. Oh, so that's a military hop. So that's different. I've done hop flights, but I've never done space available. Yeah, we did hops. That's what it was. Again, I was like fucking 10 when that happened, bro. That was a minute ago. I might have been 11. So I didn't know what the hell was going on. I just slept the whole time. Definitely. Big shout out to all the military, all my veterans out there, active duty. Y'all know what it is, man. Always love over here. I've been a military brat for a long time. I think I cried the most when I lost my benefits when I turned 21. You know what I'm saying? When you lose the military benefits when you turn 21, I think the only way I would have been able to keep my benefits is if I stayed in school or some shit like that. But lost my benefits, man, when I turned 21, man. It was a hard thing to part with. It is what it is. I waited 3 days at the airport trying to catch space A to Germany. I got fed up and paid the ticket. It was low priority. Yeah. I did a military hop then. I don't think I don't remember. Did I? That was a long time ago, man. If I did, it would have been when I was a kid. I think me and my mom might have did it back when my people were together and shit. I think when we came back to the US, we flew into Dallas, Fort Worth, but I can't remember where we flew from. But I think that was Space A because I remember, that was Space A because I slept my ass in the airport for like 2 days. That's what So yeah, I have had that experience one time. I can't remember where we flew from, but we ended up flying into Dallas, Fort Worth. And I had a little poncho liner, my fat ass laying on the ground and shit, just tired, just sleepy. Yeah, it was me and my mom when we came back to the States. So I've done that maybe once or twice. So yeah, it's cool. I can live with that. But maybe my experience with Space A was just once. But that military hop was definitely from Japan to Korea. Space A is for dependents too. He said, I'm 100% now and considering revisiting those affordable flight options. My dad talks about them all the time, man. My dad talks about them shits all the time. AB, I'm with you, brother. You know I ain't tripping. Like I said, man, it is what it is. I just play it a day at a time, man. We good. Ain't nothing wrong with it. He said they prioritize Space A. He said I was low man on the totem pole. I get you now. But yeah, I don't know if they prioritize, people with kids and shit. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But yeah, my military hop and space available trips. Yeah, my space available trip was bad. I want to say it was 48 hours. We were in the airport for a while because I was wondering why the hell weren't we going to a hotel? Right? That's what I kept remembering. And my mom kept going to the ticket counter. So yeah, that's what Space A was. I think that was it. It was tough. I remember that it only happened one time, and I'm glad we never did it again. But yeah, military house. I think that was light work, man. But yo, man, 13 of y'all in the building, man. I appreciate you locking in. If you have not dropped your like button or touched it in the most inappropriate way humanly possible, I would appreciate y'all locking in and taking care of that for the good doc. Y'all already know the rules. Y'all make sure y'all can rest, relax, and distress yourself all over that like button because it wants, it needs, it most definitely has to happen. If you guys want to support in any capacity, please feel free to do so. But like I said, man, happy and blessed y'all choose to come through, spend a little bit of time with the boy today. Now and then. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get my shout outs, man, so I can go and get the get, man. Let y'all go and do what y'all gonna do. All right. But I appreciate y'all locking in. To all of my silent partners in the background. Y'all know who y'all are. The individuals who just sit here and listen to the show. You don't necessarily participate. You're just in it for some sort of entertainment. And I pray that I live up to the hype. All right. Every single night I live up to the hype, man. I damn sure try. To all of my brethren who participate in the chat, to all of you guys who show up and show out, keep the good doc on his toes. I appreciate y'all locking in. Definitely appreciate y'all spending some time with me tonight. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world doing whatever it is that you wanted to do, but you showed up and you said, let me give this man a little bit of my time, a little bit of my energy. And I fucks with that. Hard body. Right. Well, appreciate y'all locking in, man. On the way in or on the way out, man. Appreciate y'all dropping that like, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Hey, with that being said, Good Doc is officially out. At least knuckle, which means I am going down. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Makita mabuhay. Peace.